All right, gentlemen, episode 14.
14.
So I was doing some research about how to grow your YouTube channel. Okay. And this guy I watch, his channel, he said you have to get about 35 videos up.
Okay.
To see growth. I'm like, I want 16, 15, something like that.
I thought you were going to say put some seed down and water it.
Yeah. So before we get started, just a reminder, we are on iTunes on the 3-Star Recruits. We're also on Spotify and Google Podcasts, but yeah, I can't watch us and you want to listen, iTunes is probably the easiest.
iTunes is the biggest one in my eyes.
Yeah, it's probably the easiest to listen. So 3-Star Recruits on iTunes for the audio version. So we'll start out with a Jordan documentary. I'm already getting sad. There's only 2 more episodes of this.
I know. I agree with that.
So before we get too deep into this, I received a text from a listener, a very, very, very loyal listener, and he expressed his frustration with you.
With me?
Yeah. He said, I almost quit listening when the guys say you didn't own Jordans and thought they were ugly. Do you want to provide the people with an update?
So, first of all, I will stand by my statement that other than the Jordan 1s, I believe they're all ugly. I will stand by that statement.
This person's a avid Jordan collector. He's got shoes, or at least he did. He's got Jordans that they've retro twice since he's bought them.
Okay.
So, not to age myself, he's been collecting them since we were in high school. So,
however, last night, to mysterious listener, I did order my first pair of Jordans online. They are the Air Jordan 1 mid in the smoke gray colorway.
There you go.
So I do have my first pair on their way. Don't have them in my hands yet.
Avid listener, Sean. So Sean, there you go, buddy.
All right.
He's in the club. He'll be here.
Hopefully you continue listening now.
Oh yeah, he will. So yeah, we'll start there. So last night was, I thought, in my opinion, was the first time. So I've watched the first 6 episodes, and before this documentary started, Jordan said, "Wow, this documentary is going to make you look like an asshole." And I think last night was the first time that I could see where he got that, but at no point did I think he was an asshole.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting talk on this. So it came up mainly in the second episode, I think, where a lot of his teammates talked about how aggressive Jordan was in practice, in workouts, and things of that nature.
Yeah. And
he would push these guys, yell at them, point out their mistakes big time. And I think, my opinion, it was because Jordan knew you can't win a championship by yourself. You need a solid team behind you.
Yep.
With you. I'll say behind him because he was arguably the best player ever. It's tough for those guys. In my opinion, I don't know. Did he have any teammates that were with him all 6 championships?
Pippen.
Pippen was.
Yeah, because he did. Yeah. Okay.
Was Kerr?
Because it was after 9. Nope. Kerr was there for the second three-peat.
Yeah, because he mentioned Kerr last night, saying how Kerr and those guys came in just riding that high horse. And I played for the Bulls. We won championships. Yeah. He's like, you didn't fucking earn it yet.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Correct. So I guess where I'm going with this is guys like you have, or we'll talk about Pippen then. I want to get to Pippen a little bit later for some other reasons. But if you maybe in 91, 92, the first couple years, you maybe thought Jordan was an asshole, right? The day that you're handed your first 2 championship rings, ring number 1, and then you see ring number 2 the next year, and then you see ring number 3 the next year, to me, that should change your opinion on that. Of shift it from thinking Jordan's an asshole to thinking, okay, this guy knows how to win championships.
Yeah.
He's just trying to motivate us, and maybe we should pay attention to what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't want to go too far into the documentary, but at one point Bill Wellington said that guy was a hell of a teammate. Like, you look back on it now, it's like,
so
you want him on your team.
Yeah, I think it was during the second. Well, when was it? I guess they jump around in that thing a lot, but yeah, at one point Bill Wellington said, so Jordan must have seen that this guy could play and could be an asset to the team, and he went to Wellington and said, grab onto the cape and hold on tight because we're going for a ride.
Yeah.
And that's when Wellington must have realized, okay, this isn't going to be easy, but it might give me a couple of rings.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. That's probably the part that Jordan was talking about, that people are going to think he's an asshole, but I view it as this guy was trying to motivate his teammates. He knew how to win, and he needed a team to do it with, and he was just trying to motivate them.
Yeah, you could tell at the end of the first. I think right at the end of the first, it was like the last minute and a half. It was just him, and they were going through all the clips of him kind of getting on his teammates, and you could tell he's like, "It's just the way I play the game. It's just my mentality." And you could tell he kind of broke down right at the end as they kind of cut it out.
That was a clip that repeated a lot today on the news. Was he said, "That's the way I play the game."
Yep.
If you don't want to play that way, then don't play. And he got choked up, and he said, "Break." Yeah. He must have walked away from the camera while they were filming.
I think the other quote from Jordan last night that stuck out to me was that he's probably right. There was no teammate he ever had that could claim Jordan was asking for something that he wasn't willing to do himself.
Exactly.
So it's one thing if you're standing on the sidelines in practice, drinking Gatorade and yelling at guys for not hustling. It's another thing when you're winning every sprint up and down the court and yelling at them to get moving.
Yeah.
That
scenarios.
That one clip of him going, they were doing suicides, I'm guessing, or something. And he was like 3/4 of the court ahead of people.
Yeah.
If not a full court length.
And I think those clips were from like 97, 98, somewhere in that range. A time when Jordan can probably jog up and down the court and come in last place in all those races, and he wasn't doing it. Or he was still trying to win.
Load management, not going to practice, just kind of hang out.
Yeah. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. This when you look at Jordan's work ethic in some of these practices, you look at the Dream Team. Obviously, that was earlier, 92. That heated game they had in the Dream Team practice. That does put a new perspective on this load management these days.
And even Francona last night, obviously him playing baseball, he said he would come in, take swings early, they'd practice, and then he would be right back at it again.
He'd swing in the morning, swing before the game, swing after the game, practice at night. I didn't know Francona was his manager.
No, I had no idea about that either.
I had no idea.
I also didn't realize that Jordan came back for the 95 playoff run.
Because of the baseball strike.
Yeah.
I thought the 95-96 season was when he came back. So I didn't realize he came back for roughly 15 or 20 games and then the playoffs. I didn't realize that.
I remember when all this happened, but last night for sure pieced things back together for me. Like his dad dying. Like I knew his dad died, his dad got murdered, how he got murdered. I forgot that his dad was actually considered missing for like 3.5, 4 weeks. I remember him going playing baseball and how he went through and they couldn't, put him any lower than AA because of the media and having the capacity. And I remember him having a 13-game hitting streak. And then, they said, well, I bet you can't hit a breaking ball. Because the mentality was, if this guy, to the pitchers, they would tell the pitchers, if this guy can hit your fastball, you'll never be able to make it to the majors. So they try to prove a point of throwing fastballs.
Okay.
But I knew the baseball was strike, but just reminded me and pieced back together, like, oh, that's right. They were going on strike. He was not going to be what they call a scab or replacement player.
Yeah, he didn't want to do that.
And that's why his interest got back into basketball.
Yeah, he was going to make it to the big leagues. He wanted to earn his way there.
Yep.
Not be handed to it.
Yep.
Because of a strike.
So I had forgot the 96 finals against the Supersonics. So my buddies, 96 was that one. my buddies, we were texting last night, and with the glove with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp on NBA Jam.
Oh,
Those
great
two
game.
were, those
Still
two were
have
on
it.
fire in that game. But
I do.
dude, I remember having a pair of the glove shoes. Yeah, they zipped up the front. They covered the whole thing.
You have the Kemps.
That
Look like the
I didn't have
lightning
the-
bolts down the side of the box.
yeah.
I
Dude.
also did not have either of those pairs.
Okay. You don't have to order those. We won't judge you for that.
But I forgot that Supersonics team was pretty nasty. And I think Peyton, I don't think it would have mattered, but obviously he made a good point that him covering Jordan games 4 through 6 was an entirely different game matchup for them versus games 1 through 3.
Great clip of him, though.
That
Yeah.
to me,
Oh,
that's the number one clip from last weekend was the security guard. That was the memorable thing. This
Just
week was Jordan laughing at Gary Payton's
Just
statement.
chuckled.
I was up on him. I shut him down.
I had no problem with the glove.
He's like, I love Gary. Gary's an outstanding basketball player. We get along great, but no, had no problems.
None.
It was, yeah.
I mean, the big moral story last night was don't piss off Jordan.
Yeah.
When the one dude in Orlando said, 45 does not equal 23, Jordan came out, got 23 out of retirement that next game.
Or who was the guy that played for the Washington Bullets at the time?
LeBradford Smith.
Yeah. Good game, Michael. I'm with more points in the first half. He missed it by one, but it was like, and then probably the one that they're just finding out now, Gary Payton, all of them was like, that's great. George Karl screwed us over before the series started.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say hi to him.
Didn't say hi to him in Chicago in a restaurant. And he told Ahmad Rashad, that's all I needed right there.
Yep. Yeah, it didn't take much to motivate him.
Stopper, did you guys know Ahmad Rashad was 70 years old?
I was just
he looks great though.
I was just gonna say that. I saw that after last week's episode. Yeah, no, he does not look anywhere near 70.
No, I knew they were really good friends.
I guess I didn't realize he played in the NFL either. I thought he was always just in media.
Yeah.
Yep.
Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, and Viking, right? Played like 3 years of the Vikings. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I knew him and Jordan were close. Mm-hmm. He talked more to Ahmad Rashad. It's just like Tiger there's a couple people he won't talk to.
Yeah. Kind of like Jordan wouldn't talk to Sports Illustrated after that cover.
Yeah.
Interesting. Little tidbits we probably had no idea about when we were that age.
That was good stuff, man. Yeah. Moral story. Do not piss off Jordan. No. Don't.
So, in my opinion, Scotty, this documentary is not a good look for Scottie Pippen. He looks like more of the whiny bitch than, if Jordan thought he was going to look bad. Scottie Pippen's the one that's not looking good in this. Between the
contract issues, delayed the surgery because he was pissed off about the contract.
Didn't want to mess up his summer.
Yep.
There was
1.3 seconds.
There was something else prior to last night. What's that?
Yeah. I just had the 1.3 seconds. Which was last night's.
Yeah, last night he sat out. They had the final play. They drew up the play for Tony Kukoc. So Pippen refused to go in the game.
He was supposed to inbound the ball.
Right.
Which is important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Extremely.
It's the second most important job on a play like that.
Yeah. And you refuse to go in the game because you're not the one taking the shot. And then there's something else prior to that last week. But
by the way, Tony Kukoc hit 5 game winners his rookie season for the Bulls.
Not bad. Yeah. So to me, this is tarnishing Pippen's legacy a little bit from my point of view.
Did I say Pippen? Or is it?
You said Kukoc.
Okay, I was Kukoc.
Yeah. I would agree with you, Russ, that Pippen's been the downfall of this, I guess, in people's eyes.
Yep. The contract thing, I mean, so he had to have signed that contract. What was it, like 9 years, $2 million or something? So he must have signed that in like 89.
Contract was that long? I mean, he was in Chicago for like 10 or 11 years.
So, yeah, I think that was the gripe is he wanted longevity or whatever. He signed a deal that was, I believe it was 9 years, $2 million per, 18 total.
Oh, per. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still really low.
Yeah, $2 million per. So, I don't know. I've never been a fan of these guys that sign a contract. It takes two parties to agree to a contract.
Absolutely.
And then you get 3 years in and you're whining about it. Well, you signed it.
Right. Let me ask you guys this. If you're a professional athlete, do you have an agent?
No,
I don't think so. But obviously, then you get into guys like Tiger and his agent are really good friends.
I think, yeah.
But
I'm not getting an agent. I'm negotiating my own contracts. I'm educating myself.
Yep. I'm going to have a lawyer to maybe read over it when I'm done negotiating and whatnot. But that's a much smaller fee
than paying an agent.
Yeah.
Who's negotiating you on your behalf.
Yeah.
I mean, I could think of a few times over the course of sports in my lifetime. The one that stands out to me is A-Rod, who wanted to be a Yankee. His prima donna agent came out and announced during the playoffs that year, if the Yankees were eliminated, that he wasn't coming back to New York. That pissed A-Rod off.
Yeah.
So then he fired his agent and negotiated himself with New York.
Boris is an idiot, though.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, if you have I don't know, I'm going to sound like an ass saying this, but if you have half a brain, you should be able to go into these contract negotiations by yourself.
I agree.
Especially if you are not an asshole and you have a good rapport with your general manager.
Well, you should have an idea of the business too. I mean, most sports as a rookie, it's a pretty standard rookie contract. There's not a lot of negotiating there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think, for example, the three of us are probably smart enough to have those negotiations. There probably are some pretty big idiots in sports who probably do need agents.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
So,
Russ, Russ. So there was a 6-year span that Pippen. He had 1 year that he made over $3 million, 2 years, and they were just over $3 million. Everything else was less than $3 million in his 10 years in Chicago.
That's still pretty big money for the early 90s.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, so that's funny because 87 or 97, 98 was last year in Chicago. He made 2.8.
Yep.
The next year in Houston, he made 11 million.
Yep.
And then 14, 13, 18, 19, and then a couple of years at like 5 million back with the Bulls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know. You signed the contract. Stop whining about him.
No, I agree.
Play basketball.
I mean, I think Krause is an asshole, honestly. I mean, he's the other one in this, it looks like.
Yeah. To me, Krause and Pippen are the two that are not looking good.
You know, the funny thing, too, is I mentioned this to you because Russ has never seen Space Jam. But
what?
Yeah.
What?
Is Sean going to hate that, too?
Oh, yeah. He had the Space Jam Jordans with the blue Jumpman on the back.
Well, you got Scarface out of this, so
I did.
it shows up in my mailbox.
Or a pair of Jordans.
If you want to buy me some Jordan 1s, I'll take them.
I kind of laughed after thinking about him. Like, you know what Space Jam is? It's a depiction of Jerry Krause and him building a super big fat guy bringing in the 5 aliens.
Yeah, because they showed, obviously I haven't seen the movie, but yeah, they showed some of those clips from in last night's episode, mainly showing the practice gym that he had built there.
I was going to say, that was crazy.
Yeah.
He said, I'll come out and film it, but I got to get in shape.
Yeah. I mean, at that time, you know, you obviously have movie stars, celebrities, but at that time, Michael Jordan was probably one of the biggest faces in the world. So if you can get him in a movie, you probably got to jump through some hoops to do it.
And some of those guys were in the movie, but there was guys who were not in that movie that were there playing basketball with him.
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to say. That was the interesting part. He said he would invite guys to play, but it was so he could watch and see what they would do during a game.
Yeah.
So that he could study them.
Right.
That's,
to me, that goes back to him barking at his teammates, because this is probably before real in-depth video. You know, they watch game tapes and stuff, but if he's got knowledge of these guys that are his opponents now, and he's trying to bark that to his teammates, pass that along, listen to him.
Yeah.
So
and that was the when he came back after baseball, come back for the playoff run. He said his body wasn't in basketball shape; he was in baseball shape.
Yep.
And his trainer was on TV yesterday, and he said, "I remember saying to Michael the day after they lost, hey, I'm getting out of here. Get a hold of me when you want to, get back to work."
Said usually takes a couple weeks off.
Yeah, and he said, "I'll see you tomorrow."
See you tomorrow morning. Yeah. Yep. That's
guy was a savage.
Yeah,
he wasn't an asshole. He was a savage. And like you said, he wanted to win. He knew what it took to win.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just so many players. Look at, they've shown Barkley a couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
Barkley's one of the better players at the league's seen, and he does not have a ring. You imagine how much he would have loved to be on those teams. He'd have probably fist fought Michael Jordan. And if they came out of it with two or three rings, he'd love it.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve Kerr did. He got 3 out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That was a crazy story. Like, I'm just fouled Kerr and said, that's a foul.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then fell back for beating up the smallest guy on the team.
So,
and I thought that was, well, I'm curious when coming out of this, a lot of these young athletes now, because Justin Thomas tweeted about it, but some of these young guys, how much more are they going to work, seeing how much he actually worked, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, just to get where he was? How much is that going to make guys realize how much more work they need to put in to truly be great?
In the case of Justin Thomas, I think he already knows.
Right.
Because Tiger set a bar that had never been seen before.
Yeah.
Going to the gym and putting in the hours that guy did working and, watching tape of yourself and video, analyze your swing. That was really he set the bar for that.
Yeah.
And that's why guys, Justin Thomas followers, all those guys were right around that age that's probably why they got into golf, the speeds.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a documentary on Tiger? Obviously, we'll never have the video of all that.
As long as they film one of
them
using a Denny's, I'm cool.
Yeah, back to your point, somebody like Justin Thomas, who is a major winner, he won the Tour Championship. He at least has tasted that success. I think the guys that this is interesting for would be somebody like Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh,
a guy who probably spends, the guy works out. He's a hell of an athlete. That's not going to be wrong, but he's also been a headache wherever he's gone, hasn't won a championship, and he's known for all the videos and stuff he's posted on Instagram.
Thinks he's good enough.
So even though he's still got elite talent, does it make somebody like that question, maybe this is why I'm not winning,
Yeah, too many guys came in the league and they were comfortable with their talent. Like, I made it. I'm good enough.
Right.
It's like, no, you can get better. You can work harder.
All these guys are greedy with money nowadays. They just want the most money.
It's an entitlement. It's society.
Yeah. They don't care what team they're on. It's just give me my money.
And they didn't build super teams back when Jordan played. Because like you just said, if they did, Barkley probably would have played with Jordan.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Instead of Rodman.
Yep.
Things like that. The people around Jordan now are great. I saw a absolutely ridiculous tweet when someone said, "Oh, you telling me that Jordan played the second best player ever in Pippen? He's definitely not the best then." That's not true.
Yeah.
Pippen went to a low tier college, came out. Jordan made him and pushed him just like he did the rest of his teammates better.
Yeah.
And they were all role players, which in today's NBA, you don't see. Most of these guys want to be the star. They build a super team.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll give you a great example. How come Harden and Westbrook never won a title together?
Yeah.
They
don't push each other.
With Durant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They had a super team and didn't know it.
Yep. I think, there's obviously comparisons between Jordan and LeBron James these days, and people do make that argument, but yet LeBron went to Miami to play with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And when he went back to Cleveland to win, he had Kyrie with him, right? Yep. And now he's out in L.A. with Anthony Davis and pretty stacked team overall. So
a bunch of young guys.
To me, you can't really make that argument that if you want to argue LeBron's better, I don't want to get into that, but you can't say he's better because Jordan had Pippen.
It's a ridiculous argument.
LeBron had Dwayne Wade, Kyrie, and he hasn't won in L.A. yet, but, Anthony Davis.
Who were all successful in their own right. And Pippen really wasn't that successful until Jordan came along. Right. By the way, my favorite clip of Pippen is him dunking on Ewing and then dipping his nuts on his forehead. Greatest.
Yeah.
All right, so cool. Anything else you want to add to that? I can't. This sucks.
I'm just disappointed it's ending next week.
So I do know they're filming it and they were still trying to finish it. I watched an interview today with his kids. 3 of his kids were on Good Morning America, and one of them said, "I didn't want to watch it ahead, so I'm still where everybody else is." I think it was Marcus, his one son, said, I'm through episode 9. I haven't seen 10 yet because they're still editing it. They're in their houses, like editing the final episode. So I'm curious, was there intentions to make it longer? And is there a director's cut of more stuff that eventually will come out?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
In which case, party at my house, I'll bring the beer.
Right. Are you guys interested in, because obviously ESPN's mentioned a few more documentaries, ESPN 60s, 30 for 30s that are coming out. I think starting, obviously not next week because that's the end of the Jordan. The week after, I think every Sunday they're releasing something new. I'm really interested in the McGuire Sosa. Obviously being a big baseball fan. I'm interested in that. I'll probably watch them all. They have Bruce Lee, right? I think they have a Bruce Lee one coming.
I'm not sure.
And then they got Lance Armstrong.
Screw him.
And then one
more with one nut, and you come with 3.
and then I think they just started something about with the Clippers with Donald, the old owner there, with all the scandal and stuff he went through.
Oh. Yeah.
So I think they've got a few coming out. I'm most interested in the McGuire Sosa. I remember that summer.
That sounds like a good
crazy.
One. So there is a Rodman one, by the way.
Is there?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Sean sent me a text and said there was a Rodman 30 for 30.
I saw. I'm assuming you probably, like me, grew up watching like WWF and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I saw that there was there's a 5-part documentary on The Undertaker that's out recently. I thought that would be kind of interesting.
That would be. You guys ever see the clip when Brock Lesnar went to the UFC? You ever seen this clip?
Oh, with the
Undertaker's in the crowd
being interviewed,
and Brock Lesnar's leaving the ring, and he walks by, and they just look at each other, and the Undertaker looks at him and goes, "Do you want to do it? All right, let's do it."
Yep. He was mid-sentence being interviewed and just stopped
and stared down
Lesnar. Yeah.
Look up that video clip.
I haven't watched a whole lot of the E60s, 30 for 30s. Sometimes I think they're too short, to be honest with you. I love, obviously this is a 10-part, 10 hours total.
Yeah.
I love the detail that's in these. So like if I watch a 30 for 30, a 30-minute documentary, or even a 1-part, 1 hour, usually it leaves me wanting with more questions that have been answered.
Or you go look stuff up on your own. Yeah.
So I love these that are 10 hours worth. I want those small details.
I want more.
That's how I felt with the 4 Falls of Buffalo that they did, because it was just I think it was an hour and a half maybe.
Touchy subject. Let's not bring it up.
I know, but I wish we had more. 4 straight Super Bowls, and it's cut down to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. So next week, it's sad. It's ending, but
still looking forward to it.
I'm glad I didn't have to wait till June to watch it.
I might rewatch all 8 before.
I'm going to binge watch it. As soon as it's out, I'm going to binge watch it again. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
All right. So NFL schedules came out, and I'm not sure how much you guys had to get a chance to look at NFL schedules. And I'm like, how am I going to look up NFL schedules? Am I going to look up all these teams, 32 teams, and look up their schedules? And the answer to that is no, I'm not going to do that. So what I did is looked up, they base strength of schedule based off the team's opponents. For example, this year, what their overall win percentage was for the teams they're playing this year, the previous year. So based on those numbers, these are your strength of schedules. Coincidentally, most of these are in the AFC East. The Patriots have the hardest schedule, followed by the Jets, the Dolphins, the 49ers. The Bills have the 5th hardest schedule this year, which we all kind of knew when I first saw that. The Lions, and then the Falcons. And then the 5 easiest schedules are currently the easiest schedule in the league in that order. The Ravens, then the Steelers, and then the Cowboys, the Browns, and then the Redskins. So the Redskins being harder than the Browns harder than the Cowboys in that order. So the easiest schedule in the league, but based on stats, is the Ravens right now. The second easiest being the Steelers.
So the first tidbit there that jumps out, I hadn't seen that list. The thing that immediately jumped out to me is we all talk about how the Browns have a stacked team and should be doing a lot better than they are.
Correct.
And they have top 5 easiest schedule.
Correct.
So that makes the Browns I'm going to watch them even more intently because if they can't get it done, if they can't go, I don't even know. I haven't seen the schedule, so I don't know the record. But if they couldn't have a 10-6 season and push for the playoffs with a top 5 easiest schedule, then you really got to blow that team up.
Got you covered, man.
All right.
Looked up schedules. Did more research than I thought I was going to. All right, so you want the Browns?
Sure.
All right, Browns kick off week 1 with the Ravens.
Loss.
Which they have the easiest schedule in the league, and they play the Browns.
Okay.
They then play the Bengals week 2.
Okay.
Redskins, Cowboys, Colts, Steelers, Bengals week 7, Raiders week 8.
Slow down a little bit.
Okay. You putting together a
I'm
record?
Tracking it. Yep.
Okay.
I'm counting on my fingers here too.
You got a bye week on week 9.
Okay, they won't lose there.
Well, someone gets arrested.
That'd be a joke. To throw out there. Okay.
Week 10, they play the Texans. Week 11, the Eagles. Then the Jaguars. The Titans. Ravens week 14. Giants. Jets. And then the Steelers to close it out week 17.
I got
Giants,
8 and 8.
Jets, Steelers.
I got 8 and 8.
Giants, Jets, Steelers.
Yeah, I missed. I'm off by 1, but yeah, I would.
Pretty close.
I would actually agree with that.
Okay.
So they might be fighting to get over 500.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't go 9-7, I think you've got to go 9-7 this year in the AFC to have a chance. Even it might even be more than that because I think a couple. So I saw something that obviously, there's a ton of people that are predicting it, but Beatties is going off right now, vibrating my pump by vibrating.
All those sugar ash drinks.
Yeah.
Pump it through your veins.
Take a swig at night, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
It'll cure it.
Come back to earth.
I saw a couple, and so listen, the Bills they have is one of 4 12-win teams this year, which is crazy to me. But that just goes to show, obviously, the Bills have, what did you say, 6th or 7th hardest schedule?
5th.
So, and then you got the Browns with the 4th easiest. And, I mean, I think the Bills will have a good year, but 12-4 is crazy to me.
So I think it's the Patriots. I think it's the Patriots, Bills, and one of the other AFC East teams are the only team other than the Saints who play the previous winter Super Bowl, both teams.
So I think one factor in that, so that's based off of last year's stats.
Correct.
So you now got the Patriots, who the Bills play twice a year, that no longer have Tom Brady, and I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
So that factors the Patriots in as being a tough team.
Based on
when they're really not, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because that's based on last year.
Correct.
So I think that's maybe where that plays into.
I just don't know how else
you were saying.
I think they're just trying to do some sort of. I don't know how else you would do strength of schedule.
No, I totally understand.
But I get you have to factor that into the Bills. Have the 5th hardest schedule. They play the Patriots twice.
Yeah, right. So
I got 2 tidbits, and you guys may have seen this. One, did you see the Jets and Dolphins play back-to-back games against each other?
Yeah, with a bye week in between, right?
Right. Yeah.
I've got that written down. That was my one tidbit I was going to throw out.
Yeah.
First time since 1991 that's happened. Hold on. You got muted all of a sudden. We'll hopefully be back with you here in a second, folks. So, yeah, as Adam was saying.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep. So, the Jets play at Miami week 10. Both teams have a bye. And then Miami plays at the Jets week 12. So, they play back-to-back games against each other.
And then I don't know if it's coincidence that the league said it wasn't. The Patriots and Bucks only play at the same time twice this year.
What do you mean at the same time?
It's like 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock game.
Oh, okay.
Twice this year, and they think it was partly because they wanted Patriots fans to be able to see Brady.
Oh, Jesus.
And those 2 games are week 15 and 17.
Yeah.
And I think the 2 teams combined have 9 primetime games, whether it's Thursday, Sunday, or Monday.
So I want to jump to the Cowboys. because Jamie was supposed to join us tonight and he didn't. And now I'm going to throw him under the bus.
Okay.
Jamie has not watched any of the Jordan documentary.
Get out of here.
Oh, Jamie. Come on.
Is that worse than not owning a pair of Jordans?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll get confirmation from Sean on that.
Please.
Close.
Okay.
It's close, but I think you're ahead of him, Russ.
So we have the Cowboys with strength of schedule is 30. So I want your guys' opinion for Jamie's sake.
Strength of schedule is 30.
Ranked 30th.
Meaning they have the easiest?
Yes.
Okay.
Only 2 teams have it easier according to this list.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Week 1, they play the Donald Trump Rams with the logo.
Where?
At LA.
So I'm going to pause for a second.
Pause.
So as he's running through this, Adam, who's your quarterback in this scenario?
Oh.
I'm going to stick with Dak right now.
Okay.
I think Dak gets paid.
All right. I'll go with Dak then also.
Here's right. Someone made a good point today. The Andy Dalton signing is not a slap in Dak's face, in their opinion, because last year the Cowboys had a game that Dak had a shoulder issue. He got an injection prior to the game and at halftime. And they said, what if you had a quality, there's a lot to be said for quality backup. You could go in and still win you games. And it would have been a situation where, like, you lost that game. What if Dak could have sat and you threw in someone healthy that was a good quarterback that could have won the game?
Yep.
Which is funny because Cincinnati's head coach, they've got Burrow, Ryan Finley behind him, and then, I don't know, some no-name, probably Russ behind him.
Right.
And they were like, oh, we don't need a veteran quarterback.
Right.
To me, that's bringing Burrow in with the first overall pick. I would think that's when you want a veteran quarterback.
That's also a scenario, though, where you have to assume Dalton would be happy as the longtime starter all of a sudden sitting on the bench in Cincinnati.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't imply that I thought it was a slap to Dak's face. I don't think
No,
that.
you didn't. You were just asking. I'm saying.
Because I think it's a team covering their ass
I do
for
too.
having an unsigned quarterback at the moment.
I do too. The person said it was slap in the face of it was, I believe, Des Bryant.
Oh, okay.
That's
I thought you were saying a friend texted you that.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not friends with Des Bryant.
Okay.
Des texted him.
All right.
Maybe you said Des and I missed that. But
So here we are. Cowboys, week 1, they play the Rams. Week 2, they play the Falcons. Then the Seahawks. The Browns. The Giants.
Okay.
Cardinals.
Okay.
Redskins. Eagles. Steelers. Vikings. Redskins again. I believe this is a Thanksgiving game, November 26th.
Okay.
Ravens. Bengals. 49ers. Eagles. And then they finish the year out playing the Giants.
7. I got them 9 and 7.
Oh boy, yeah. Jamie, you don't want to know mine. 6 and 10.
Jesus, man. Who they lose? Whoa. Whoa.
So I've got them splitting with the Giants and the Eagles, both, because I was uncertain.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know the Giants haven't beat the Eagles since 2016?
Yes.
I've got them stomping all over the Giants.
Well, I think they'll split. I don't know why. Because the Cowboys were 6-0, and they went and played the Jets this year and got demolished.
Yeah.
And then I have them losing to the Falcons. I don't know why, but
So did I. Actually.
okay.
All right.
I had 9-7 though.
So if they say they beat the Eagles and Giants both twice, and they're 8-8.
Okay. All right.
Which is what they were last year, right? 8-8.
I think so.
Yes.
By the way, the Cowboys are also ranked 31st in the league in close games, which is games decided by 7 points or less. So that goes back to what we talked about. They just didn't close out games.
Yeah.
Best offense in the league, 9th best defense in the league, didn't close out games.
Right.
So obviously, a question for you guys. And I think people look at this every year is how good are the Thursday, Sunday, Monday night games? Because I think people always question the Thursday night games because they're never great. So I looked. I had like 5 Thursday night games I thought were decent. Thought they were better than usual.
So I mainly looked at the Bills schedule. I didn't look at the overall, so I guess I don't have an answer for that. Well, I will say that I typically feel that the Thursday games are shitty.
Yeah.
So
they were last year because they plan ahead.
Right.
It's I don't know how they predetermine that, but there are 5 teams this year that have, or 8 teams. I'm sorry, 8 teams have the maximum of 5 primetime games this year, and that includes Thursday, Sunday, Monday night games.
5. Okay.
8
so
teams.
The league has
a max
for primetime games. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, because every team has to play at least one primetime game. I believe that's still the case.
Bills didn't last year.
Yeah, they play. Yeah, they did. They played the Sunday night game. Pittsburgh.
Didn't they move that to Sunday night though?
Right, but didn't they have a Thursday as well?
They played on Thanksgiving. It wasn't prime time.
Thanksgiving's a prime time.
Okay.
Slot.
So 8 teams, 5 max.
Okay.
Ravens, Cowboys, Packers, Chiefs, Rams, Patriots, 49ers, and Buccaneers. Fun fact for you boys.
Yeah. So, Adam, what do you have the Bills? What's your Bills prediction? You kind of choked on those guys saying 12 wins.
I don't think 12 is a stretch. I got 11-5.
Okay.
For the Bills?
Yeah.
So I have 12-4 written down. I kind of bounce back and forth between 11-5 and 12-4. I think of course, this is obviously thinking positively as a Bills fan. I had them losing to the Chiefs, Seattle, Arizona, and San Francisco. The one that I was on the fence on is Tennessee. And then the wild card in this is, do they have a good enough record week 17 against Miami to sit guys, and then Tua goes off and we lose to the Dolphins?
That's why I have 11-5. I don't think they'll have to play the last week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I quick glance. I got, even with them winning the last week, I have them 11-5.
Okay. I'm thinking positively that they'll be 5-0 going into that game against the Chiefs.
So I think that Chiefs game is big. First of all, it's obviously week 6 early, and it's Thursday night, so you get the Chiefs short rest at home, which I think is big for them.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot depends. Are there fans in the stands? If there's fans in the stands, I think there's a 75% chance they win that game.
Yeah.
If there's no fans, it's obviously a different game. But
I think it's going to be. To sound optimistic, this takes me back to I went to the New England game this year. You go into New England, everyone's 4-0. Bills, Pats, 4-0. And I guess the way to look at it was like, okay, you either leave this game 5-0 or 4-1. You're not hurting yourself that bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if the Bills are 5-0 going into Kansas City and lose, you walk out of there 5-1. Is it that big of a deal?
We would all, no matter how it happens, we would all take 5-1 right now.
Right.
Yep.
And how crazy is that the Bills have 3 primetime games in a 4-week stretch?
Yeah.
13, 14, and 16.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. So
when's their bye week?
It's like week 10?
Okay.
It's late.
Not 9? I don't know. Yeah. 11, somewhere. It's
70.
It's like the
name a couple more, you'll hit it.
6, 7, 8, 9.
25, 35. It's week 11, by the way.
All right.
11.
Yeah. So I didn't go through and through and write down particular records for teams. I looked up what they had for strength of schedule. So the best way I could think of to contribute to this was I went through and picked my division winners. Did not go into the playoffs, just division winners.
Okay.
So I will give you my division winners.
Okay.
I'm going to write mine down real quick.
All right. So for the AFC East, I have the Bills winning that.
Okay.
For the AFC South, I have the Texans winning that. For the AFC West, I have the Chiefs winning the division. For the AFC North, I have the Browns winning the division.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
And I say that because although the Ravens, in theory, have an easy schedule, I truly believe that because they're in the same division, right? Right?
Yeah.
AFC, yeah.
Right.
Yes. AFC North. So the Ravens, I think, first of all, I think Lamar Jackson is an outstanding athlete. And I got nothing against the guy. I hope it pans out for him. My biggest fear for Lamar Jackson is he turns into a Kaepernick, where you got defensive coordinators in the league, get paid a lot of money to figure guys out. They've had a lot of free time to sit around and study film on this guy. Do you figure out a way?
Okay.
I mean, the guy is somewhat accurate, not extremely accurate, but I thought at the end of the year the best way to beat the guy was to sit back and make him throw.
Right.
Even if you only rushed a couple guys and just made him throw. You know, only rush 3 guys. Put linebackers out there, cover your flats, make him make passes. And I think the Bills did that and almost beat them. So they probably should have won that game. So I'll shift over to the NFC. I have the NFC East. I have the Cowboys winning the division. For the North, I have the Vikings. For the NFC South, I have the Saints. And for the West, I have the Seahawks. There's not a ton of surprises. Probably the only big one there would be the Browns.
Yeah. Which the Browns having a good season and winning their division wouldn't surprise me.
And it shouldn't.
Because on paper,
yeah,
they've got a hell of a team.
Yeah.
At least a hell of an offense.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bold statement based on what they did last year, but I don't think it's crazy.
But I wrote mine real quick down while Kyle was giving his. I got Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, and Indianapolis. I think that AFC South is close with Houston, Tennessee, and Indy.
Indy was a thought of mine just because they got Rivers now, right?
Yeah. And then I got Minnesota, New Orleans, Philly, and San Fran.
Ooh. Those are fighting words to Jamie.
Well, Jamie should have showed up.
And I can't just tell you that Cowboys are going to go 6-10 and win the division.
That's true.
That's correct.
That would have been an even bigger stretch. Yeah. I got the Cowboys going 6-10, but they're winning the division.
Yep.
All
right.
So I got another. Go ahead.
I was to say I didn't study the schedule enough to come up with predictions.
It's tough to study a schedule.
Yeah, I think before the season gets started, we should make some predictions and track them through the year and stuff. So
I'm down with that.
So yeah, I'll have mine eventually.
Throw some cash on that.
So I'm good with it.
So I have 2 questions for you guys.
Okay.
Cam Newton's still a free agent. Yep. The rumor the past week was, and the thought behind some experts, we'll call them, but he should go to Buffalo.
Oh, I saw the Bears too.
Well, the Bears have always been in the conversation. I mean, they got Foles right now, but Cam said he's open to a backup role. And now here's my thing: is Cam Newton a good quarterback? Yes, he is. Is he a backup quarterback? Nope. He's good enough to be a starter. He's better than some of the starters in the league.
So I don't know a lot of the behind the scenes rules of football like I do other sports, mainly like hockey. So let's say that happens. What happens to Jake Fromm from a Bills owning him standpoint?
Right. In theory, though, he's not signed yet, is he?
No. Well, technically no, but I think they would keep him and they would let
Barkley go.
Barkley go, just because you wouldn't want 2 veterans.
Right.
So
do most teams have 3 quarterbacks addressed, or is it just 2 and they have a third?
Bills had 3 last year. They had a kid.
Yeah.
He went to college in Buffalo.
He got released a few weeks in, but but most I would say most have 3, but I would say it's probably 22 teams have 3 and 10 teams have 2 quarterbacks.
Okay.
So here's my hang up. I mean, if Cam Newton came out tomorrow and said, I'm going to go to Buffalo, do you entertain it?
I think you have to.
You have to entertain it.
As much as I love Josh Allen, he's a great kid. He's a good quarterback. I think he grew exponentially last year. But here's a quick stat on Josh Allen. He was 7 for 51 and passes over 30 yards last year.
So that's one thing I was just going to say is I definitely like Josh Allen. He is not accurate downfield.
No,
we saw that last year. And a lot of them aren't small misses either. Sometimes you have these fast receivers. He's still usually overthrowing them. by 5 or 7 yards.
I know I watched a few games. I'm like, damn, I want to just underthrow one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think long term, I like Josh Allen, but he has to get that figured out, his downfield accuracy.
That's what someone brought up today was on the Pat McAfee show. He was like, what if, if they go out this year and Josh doesn't improve or at least win games, how do you not entertain Cam Newton with the weapons he's got around him now? You got Beasley, you got John Brown, you got Stephen Diggs, got a stout defense.
There's no excuse for a quarterback to not succeed in Buffalo right now. So I think you have to entertain the thought of Cam Newton if he's interested. It obviously depends on how much money he's asking for.
You got Carolina ties too.
Yeah, that's true. And that's a good point because my initial thought was maybe this isn't fair to Cam Newton, but how big of a headache is this guy in the locker room? But you now have a lot of ties to Carolina and Buffalo that would know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Will he be disruptive?
That's my only question is my big concern with Cam in Buffalo is does he fit the culture in Buffalo? The very, very, very blue collar. I mean, this guy would show up to press conferences dressed like
I absolutely hate
Little Red Riding Hood.
Absolutely cannot stand the way he dresses. I don't.
It wouldn't work in Buffalo.
Don't even get me started on that. That's Look like
I want to get you. We'll get you going sooner or later on that.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it. So do you guys think? Now, I'm not saying they're the same quarterback. Does Allen remind you a little bit of how Newton played, though?
So, yeah, Cam Newton, his accuracy when he first started out, his overall accuracy was below 60%, but he did improve. He was over, his last couple of years, it was like over 68%.
Yeah, and they obviously run a lot. So.
Yeah, which is why I make the statement that Josh has to work on it and improve it. I'm not dismissing him.
Right.
He can still evolve.
Right.
But it's got to happen soon with the weapons I have.
Yeah, great weapons.
So I just thought of a team that I don't know if he's got to be willing to take a backup job, obviously, at this point, I think. If he wants to take a starting job, I don't know if he's going to find anything. But how about the Giants bringing him in for Jones?
I think
they're pretty all in on their quarterback.
I think they're all in on.
I'm just thinking from a veteran standpoint for them.
They had Eli there. I feel like.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah,
but he's not there anymore, right? So.
Right, I probably feel like he did his time though with Eli.
Yeah, I
basically spent a year under Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That Giants just came to my mind.
Yeah,
5 minutes ago.
I think he to me appears to have a good enough head on his shoulders, and spending that year with Eli probably is worth 3 years under most veterans. So I see your reasoning there, but
yeah.
I think the Giants are all in on Danny Dimes.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can't come up with his freaking last name at the moment.
Jones.
It's a tough one.
They call him Dimes, though.
That's
his nickname.
I know.
Call him Danny Dimes.
I know. I just like you're dropping Danny Dimes.
Well, you got to improvise when you can't remember a name.
So here's my next football question. And this was posed to me by a listener. And they asked me the question the other day, and I went to answer. I'm like, actually, I don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
Who do you think gets the most satisfaction out of this year? Who's going to end up with the most satisfaction, Brady or Belichick?
I don't think Belichick is capable of being happy. Feeling satisfaction.
There it is.
I think Tom Brady's going to Tampa and loving life. I think they're going to do good. Are they a legit Super Bowl contender? I don't know. I think Tampa's got a much better shot at having a successful year than New England does.
I would agree with that.
And ironically, there's Belichick over your shoulder on the TV there.
With his cutoff sweatshirt.
Yeah. I don't think I just don't know that Belichick cares enough to be happy.
Well,
This sounds like a stupid answer, but I don't know. Tom Brady. My answer's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Well, I've been crushing my balls on the fence I've been teetering on for the last 2 days since I was asked this question. And
Like
the only
that
thing I come up
raccoon.
with is I'm still stuck on the fence because being a Bills fan, I don't want to see New England be successful.
Agreed.
But at the same time, I don't want to see Brady be successful to prove a point that I've always thought that he's a system quarterback. I mean, Matt Castle came in to New England when he got hurt week 1, hadn't thrown a touchdown pass since high school and led them to the playoffs. Brady got suspended for 4 games. Backup came in. They went 4-1 or 3-1, whoever it was. He was 4 games.
Yeah.
I mean, the best person to answer this question would be Dave Portnoy, who's going to watch football with the commission.
That's right.
Yeah. I just think Brady, especially with Gronk on his side now, Brady and Gronk are going to go to Tampa and just love life.
Yeah.
So are they going to succeed and win a Super Bowl? I don't know. Are they going to have a hell of a lot more fun in their life this year? Feel that satisfaction versus Belichick? Absolutely.
Probably, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a lose. It's Brady can't win either way. He's going to go down and he's going to go to Tampa and he can be successful. And if he's not, they're going to say, well, he needs McDaniels, he needs Belichick.
Right.
So I'm gonna say Belichick. I think New England goes 9-7. I'll say. If he gets satisfied. Huh? I think I've always said Belichick. I think is ahead of that snake.
Probably is.
So I think they go 9-7. But I think Tampa also goes 9-7 and misses the playoffs. I don't think either one gets in the playoffs, but Belichick will get more satisfaction out of
it. Okay. I'm still on the fence.
They don't play each other, right?
No.
Because that'd be your answer. Whoever wins that freaking game.
But the Bills play Tampa. But the Bills play in Tampa February 7th. So.
All right. Well, road trip.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's an interesting question.
All right. So I'm done with football. I got no other trick questions for you boys.
I like trick questions.
Yeah. I guess if I had to pick one, it would be, I think, Brady, because to him, he's got nothing to prove in his career. He's going to, like you said, he's going to go out there and have a good time. He's in Tampa. He's living in Jeter's house.
Jeter's old mansion with his supermodel wife, Giselle.
Living in Jeter's, but visiting others.
Yeah.
I think he's in a good spot, too, with Bruce Arians.
I'm sure, yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so. So then the other big sporting event, we have our first, we'll call it our first live sporting event other than the cornhole. It was on ESPN. But Saturday night, we had some UFC. Dana White just broke down that barrier, held a pay-per-view card without fans, which you and I watched. As we talked about earlier, we did do a separate deep dive into UFC 249 in another video if you want to watch that. But the no fans was different, but you could definitely hear more. There's some pros to it.
Pros and cons to it.
You could hear more. You could hear leather hitting face. You heard guys chattering.
Yeah, fighters talking to each other.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Yep.
Fighters hearing Joe Rogan and the commentators. So there was specifically Greg Hardy, who said at one point he heard, I don't know if it was Rogan.
You heard Cormier say you got to check some kicks.
So Cormier said that Greg Hardy needs to do a better job checking the low kicks. Hardy heard him say that, which you wouldn't if there were fans in the arena, and then he started doing it.
Made the adjustment.
So that was an interesting tidbit there.
I was curious about that because I think, I didn't watch UFC event, but cornhole, the announcers would say stuff and the players would actually hear them and look over and laugh and do something.
Yep.
So I was curious if they would hear them. And obviously the UFC announcers sit, 10 feet outside the ring, if that.
Yeah. So if the fighters are on their side of the cage, they're within 10 feet. Right. If the fighters on the opposite side, is pretty good distance there, but still close enough to hear them.
So obviously I didn't watch. I got some questions for you guys. So
We got answers.
Did they release ratings yet or viewership of it?
We talked about that. I think it takes a few days for like pay-per-view numbers to come in.
That's what I was wondering. I didn't see anything. I did a lot of research trying to find it, but so my first one is, will Khabib versus Ferguson happen now?
No. Are we Khabib versus Ferguson? Yes. Will it happen next? No. Will it happen at some point? I hope so. The fight to be had right now is Gaethje and Khabib.
So Gaethje impressed me an extreme amount on Saturday night. I thought his boxing was out of this world. Ferguson proved he's got a hell of a chin because he couldn't get knocked out. But Gaethje, to me, bumped himself way up as far as boxers in the UFC rank, even though he's got a wrestling background.
Yes.
And wasn't he the fourth contender coming in, I think?
He was. And the only reason he was there was he got beat by Poirier. And Poirier had his run at the belt.
Yeah. So I think, unfortunately, I think that fight puts Ferguson out of the title talk for the time being. To me, Gaethje and Khabib is the next fight.
Which I do want to point out, I didn't mention this in our video with the Just UFC. I do feel bad for Tony and all this, and here's why. The guy was on a 12-fight win streak over the last, 5 or 6 years, and the closest thing he ever got to a title shot was an interim title fight.
Yeah, that's tough. You won 12.
And in my opinion, he deserved more than that.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I feel bad for him, and I don't think he's not gonna get it right away. Here's what I do think, though. If Khabib beats Gaethje, Ferguson gets the title shot. He deserves it.
Because where is he? Probably obviously new rankings will come out. Was he 1 or 2?
Who?
I assume Ferguson in the class.
2.
I don't know if it was 1 or 2, but yeah, he was. Yes, he was up there.
Okay.
Yep.
And then my other one, I'm ready for Kyle's answer on this one. Is obviously they've talked about Cormier, Stipe. Will Ngannou fight Cormier? Or will Cormier fight Ngannou, I guess is a better way to word that.
How do you want me to answer this? Because I got multiple answers. Will Ngannou fight DC? Yeah, he would.
Yeah, yes.
He's also not hurt. He probably cleared medicals. His fight was 20 seconds.
Right.
Will DC fight Ngannou? No, not unless the belt's on the line.
Yep. So we, not to advertise the other video, definitely go check that out. So Stipe has some injury issues with his eye from his last fight. So Stipe is somewhat on the sidelines at the moment. There's also the whole
can't get to a gym.
COVID-19, finding a gym to work out in, but I doubt Stipe is the only fighter in that category at the moment. So yeah, DC came out and said he will fight Ngannou if they strip Stipe and make the DC Ngannou fight for the belt, which my personal opinion is he's pulling that out of his ass, and there is zero reason to strip Stipe right now.
Zero reason.
Right.
So I don't think Dana will strip Stipe. Therefore, DC will not fight Ngannou if the belt's not on the line, because there's a very good chance Ngannou would knock him the hell out, potentially very early.
DC is a very height-wise, he's extremely short for heavyweight.
Yep.
And Ngannou is very large for heavyweight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Ngannou's won the last 4 fights in under 90 seconds, right? Ngannou.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mentioned that when we were watching Saturday. They showed that stat when I said, his last 3 fights have been less than 2.5 minutes total.
Yep.
And then this one was only 20 seconds. So 4 wins in less than 3 minutes.
And he knocked him out with a half
of a left.
Word left hook.
I saw it. I watched the entire fight.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did.
So
the interview was actually longer than the fight.
Yeah.
It was. You can go back in time.
Yeah.
So DC, without the belt on the line, he's smart enough to know that the risk reward is not in his favor to fight Ngannou without the belt.
Because he claims his last fight's going to be the trilogy with Stipe.
Yep.
Notice that he didn't say his last fight is going to be the trilogy with John because he doesn't want that smoke.
Yeah. Even at heavyweight.
And he can't make 205.
Correct. which if they were going to try to sign that fight up, John would be very adamant it's a light heavyweight just to force DC to go through that attempted weight cut.
And then he'd miss weight and John would get 30% of the overpayment that DC's going to get.
Yeah.
What else you got for us? You got more questions on UFC?
That's all I got. I guess congrats to Justin, too.
That was great, man. He was.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you a story. You don't even have to go watch the video to hear this. This has to do with our man Russ to my right.
Oh, boy.
So do you follow Tony Ferguson on social media?
No.
So Tony's very odd in his approach.
Life.
He almost like dances at one point in a fight, remember? You hear the corner say, let me see some sand. And he bends down and pretends to pick up sand and throw it at Gaethje's face.
Yeah.
Okay. He did like a couple tumbles, did some pirouettes. He's very unique in his training. He's posted videos of him like got tires standing upright and he's running across them. They're not attached to anything. He's just running across them.
It's almost like we've made fun of Jameis Winston for his weird-ass workout videos he's posting. Tony Ferguson is the UFC equivalent.
Yeah, except Winston's actually make more sense than Ferguson's most of the time. So anyway, Gaethje comes out and he's in the ring. Here comes the music. They pan back to Ferguson. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm thinking to myself, what in the hell is this song? Is this like 90s pop or hip-hop?
Did Russ rap it out?
Incoming Russ. He throws out a dialogue of a fake conversation with Tony Ferguson. What do you want your walkout music to be? Oh, I don't know. Jock Jams Volume 12. Any track, just pick one.
This kid was in tears. I'd never seen him laugh so hard.
I was literally tears coming out of my eyes. I woke up the next morning and I like was brushing my teeth. I'm like, oh, it's like laughing.
Oh, man.
Jock Jams Volume 12. Just pick a track.
Oh God, that's great.
Yeah, but yeah, that was definitely lived up to the hype.
That was a hell of a fight. Yeah.
And I said to Ross before they came out, I said, all right, the co-main event finishes, and I was like, all right, let's wrap this ring around in plastic because there's about to be blood everywhere. Yeah. And there was a lot of blood. I mean, Ferguson broke his orbital bone.
That was an example where Ferguson's chin is too tough for his own good. Most guys in that, with Gaethje's power and boxing ability, almost everybody in that division would have been knocked out cold in the first round. But Ferguson can take a punch and last it into the fifth and caused himself way more damage than the average guy.
Yeah.
To the point where that fight, I think that was the first time I'd ever seen this. Gaethje landed a couple bombs there at the end, and Ferguson started shaking his head like he'd just been like he had bees in his head or something.
Yeah, I saw the video of that. One of those. Yeah,
he shook his head, and you could see Herb Dean, the ref, step in and really look at him. And then he did it a second time, and that's when Herb stepped in because you could tell there was something wrong with him.
He got punched at one point. He like kicked his leg out like to the side, like he was trying to feel his legs and get the feeling back.
Yeah, I'd never seen a guy shaking his head like that. Like he had literally had bees inside his brain or something.
Was the Pettis Cerrone fight good?
Yeah, and then they went and had beer together after.
Yeah, they posted a picture outside their hotel with having a beer while the main event was going on.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't look close enough. I saw Pettis' picture with a beer, but I guess I didn't look close enough at the other person.
They took a picture together back at the media pictures after the fight that they take.
Yep.
And then they posted a picture of them at the hotel together, like in the lobby drinking.
He posted it during the main event, so they were already back there watching the main event together.
I guess I didn't look at the picture close enough. I'll have to look back at it because I saw the picture of Pettis drinking a beer with somebody, but I didn't look at it.
Cowboy.
Yep, that was Cowboy. There, that was one of the stories going into that. Is those guys fought years ago and became like best friends after that fight. So that was one of the storylines going into that. How good of friends
they basically both stepped up to try to save the card.
Yeah,
basically. The other, I don't want to give too much away, but if you want more details, go watch the other video. Cejudo beat Cruz. But the highlight there was after the fight, an interview with Megan O'Leary. Cruz accused the referee of smelling like beer and cigarettes.
Yep. He said he wished there was a way for him to request
a veto.
The referee being drug tested.
Yep.
All right.
So he claimed he smelled like alcohol and cigarettes.
Yep.
And Megan O'Leary stopped and asked him to confirm, did you just say this? And he said, oh, yeah, definitely. That's what I said. So that's to me, like you say, we talked about it in the other video, but that's a bold allegation for a fighter to make against a ref.
And from Cruz.
Herb wouldn't do that though.
No, Herb's one of the best.
Yeah, he is.
Or my other guy there, the braided beard.
Oh,
guy.
the beard, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't there. He wasn't on Saturday's card.
All right, boys. Next is the next event that's going to be live sports.
Yep.
We got NASCAR back.
Yeah, buddy.
So the return of NASCAR means the return of NASCAR betting for us.
I need to keep this out. Actually, write my name.
You do need to write this down. So we have the names in a bowl.
Per usual.
If you're watching this on iTunes, I apologize, but we'll read the names to you.
Yeah, just envision a white bowl.
Yeah. And we have, do we do 3 or 4?
So I would say, what are we doing? We did 4 names last time, $5 each.
Yep.
Best position out of the 12 racers wins it.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
I'll virtually pick my name out there.
All right.
NASCAR.
So we'll pick for Adam first.
Okay.
I'll pick his first one. Let's see who it is. What do you got? Daniel Suarez.
Oh, that's my boy.
It's not a bad pick.
Are they doing a poll or are they just racing?
No idea.
I'm assuming they have to do a poll.
Oh, all right.
That's an assumption, but all races have to have a poll to start.
Yeah.
So
I just looked up who the field was today.
Ross, I thought you knew everything about NASCAR.
no, come on, guys.
We're about to find out how much he knows, but go ahead.
All right. I have the infamous Christopher Bell, the guy we'd never heard of.
Winnie the Pooh, baby.
I have Eric Jones.
Eric with an A.
I think I got screwed.
It isn't it? See, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He made that up. I feel like I got screwed out. You guys got Jones and Bell, and I got Suarez.
I've never heard of any of these guys, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know Eric Jones. Bell, I only know because we've drawn him a few times. Daniel Suarez is a legitimate.
Yep.
You've got the best out of those 3.
You can draw Adam's next one.
Is he a real NASCAR driver? Is that what you're saying? The other 2 aren't?
He's an iRacing driver. He's making the transition this week.
All right, Adam gets Kyle Busch.
Ooh.
Oh.
There's a good one for you.
I should have drank my Busch Light tonight.
There's no way you have a Busch Light in the house.
That's a valid statement.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'd have taken that bet.
I have a really good bet.
Oh, I drew 2 accidentally. I'll take the one I didn't look at. I got Bubba Wallace.
Oh, that's the first time we draw him. He's my boy.
I have Matt DiBenedetto.
Oh, Barstool, baby.
Is Wallace Wallace is racing? You confirm that?
Yeah, he was on the list.
Okay. Matt DiBenedetto?
Yeah.
Just write Barstool.
Yes, you were still on the Barstool car.
Adam, look into the camera so I know you're out researching your phone. I'll give you $10 if you can spell DiBenedetto.
All right.
I'll supply your $5 to the pot if you can spell that.
Dibien.
Nope.
Damn it. I thought there was something special with that after the DI.
For the record, I have no idea how to spell it either. But.
Yeah, I had it in front of me, so I did. Adam's next driver is Ryan Blaney.
Who?
Ryan Blaney. You know, that guy drives NASCAR?
What number is he?
Ryan Blaney's good. Ryan Blaney's good.
Yeah, Russ is the expert here.
Russ is good.
Blaney's the one who got hurt in the Daytona 500 crash at the end.
Oh, shit. Is he all right?
I assume so. He's had
all right, good.
better shape than Ferguson. No, he's not. No, he's not. Never mind.
You're thinking of Hamilton.
Newman.
Newman won it. Yeah, Newman. Ryan Newman.
Ryan Newman.
Oh.
All right, never mind. Blaney's still a good name.
Ryan. Same
All right, I got to stop commenting. I don't know as much about NASCAR as I claim.
Until he texts us, Kyle, during the race.
Ryan Blaney. Go ahead, snag it.
Ryan Blaney. I got to pick a name.
Oh.
Ironically, I just drew not Ryan Newman.
Oh, did you?
He is the one that crashed.
Yep. I have Martin Truex Jr. Truex Jr. All right, last racer. Here, you grab Adam's last one.
I hope I got Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
So do I, because he's retired.
Yep.
You got your boy. Come on.
Oh boy, I don't know. I got lots of boys.
Clint Boyer.
Barstool Boyer.
3, 1, 2, 3.
It's probably my best pick I've ever had.
Okay.
Joey Logano.
Yep, that's solid.
Last time we did this, I thought I picked a guy that was like part of the pit crew. I didn't know who he was.
That might have been your Eric Jones, actually.
Yeah.
I just got Jimmy Johnson.
Oh.
Didn't he retire after the 500?
Did he? He's on the list.
I don't know.
All right, I'll go with it.
Hey, he got his iRacing. He got his iRacing in. He felt the urge. His iRacing was like Jordan's baseball.
Do you want to draw another one to contingent that he's not racing?
If I have a retired guy in this, I'm going to be pissed.
Draw another guy.
Retired or retarded?
Retired.
Draw another name. And he's your contingent.
If Johnson's retired.
Yeah. Who do you got?
Then I've got Denny Hamlin.
Okay.
So I'm hoping Johnson's retired. I'm going to Google this real quick. This is where we need Robbie.
Robbie.
Are we going to be watching this race as you two are lifting the trophy this weekend?
I don't know. I like lifting trophies.
All right. Retiring at the end of the year.
Okay.
So Jimmy Johnson on why NASCAR season delay cemented his decision to retire at the end of the year.
Okay.
All right. Take it back.
He couldn't get all of his stretching in for the races.
All right, boys. I think that's the end of the episode.
All right. I like it.
Until next time.
Yep.
Good luck this weekend. May the best driver be on my side.